Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen, it's NiP and Team Liquid playing in a best of one on Dust2 here for the ESL Pro League, and I'm joined by Moses. Moses, how are you doing? Are you ready for this game?
I am pumped for this game. See, this is going to be a pretty good barometer for Team Liquid after Austin. See where they're at, because they show some cool stuff. I think that leadership discussion was actually really interesting. They had about how Dren's going back towards the in-game leading role, so that'll be curious. They went back to being a little bit more passive, which is a little worrying for me.
Yeah,
but could be cool.
I'm excited as well. I mean, at the major, I asked Dren where this great form was coming from. I think it was the pressure of not really sort of expecting anything from myself, but we'll see if it's going to change here. As Kusta's going to take down Get Right with a second shot, third one, headshot. Kusta, what are you doing? Hiko shutting down Forest, and it's all going to be up to Exist. We've been talking a lot about this kid, but that's one hell of a way to make a start against a team like NiP, with Hiko following up with a second headshot. Moses, thoughts about that kind of a beginning?
That was dirty. That was really cool from Kusa right off catwalk as well. So a little bit of a split from NiP, but obviously just gets absolutely shut down. I mean, there's not really too much tactically to it. Just some peaks, some very nice shots at the USP, and that eliminates essentially half the attack. Hiko and Nitro have a very easy job over at that B bomb site.
So a bit of a mental stop for NiP early on. They didn't get the bomb down. They've bought Tech9 and Armor. I always feel like that's a bit less effective on a map like Dust2. I almost prefer they just buy some Deagles here. I don't think the Armor is going to make a massive difference, but fairly aggressive push from Elige here with not much to lose anyway with that submachine gun. And NiP they're being very defensive.
Yeah, and it's actually designed, this kind of passive defensive approach on the T side. It's supposed to stop that kind of a push from Elige, but a very nice angle. Freiburg just couldn't react in time, and now Elige staying aggressive. Here's a guy who, in some of their wins they've had against, especially against Fnatic at the major, I mean, he was a big part of this success, and he's going to stay aggressive, but I mean, that's too much. Not even clearing that angle whatsoever, gets caught off guard.
Yeah, I think because he was just there, he didn't realize that that Python made his jump up onto the headshot box and up on catwalk, so a little bit interesting. It does give them the MP9, and looks like they could be heading back to the B-bomb site. I think Liquid should still be fine in this situation, though. Yeah,
the one thing it does kind of it gives a little bit worry with your Team Liquid is since you have no real eyes on mid. I mean, you got to spot from so far back. The timing for Nitro's got to be really fortunate, and he's going to be forced to make a decision, him and Hiko, of where they want to group up and which part of this attack they want to actually defend.
And they are going to be a bit of a split here, but the Molotov might just help him up. Nitro there in the middle. He's hesitating a lot. You could tell he was a bit confused about where to throw that. Hiko taking a long fight. Nitro gets down, and Hiko's down to 50 health as well, but he does get the one shot in. Good range there from Get Right. We'll pick up the bomb, and at least they'll get a bomb plant and 3 kills on the Liquid team. Get Right should not be able to win the 1-on-2, though. I think he's still in a pretty bad position. He doesn't have head armor either. A bit of a fight going in. Kusta will be going down, in fact, and Get Right now running for it. That was a bit scary. Very expensive round coming out of NiP here, just making it tough for Liquid.
Yeah, that's that got way too close for comfort. And a part of it, I mean, Hiko from that halls could have just stayed alive and just kept the pressure on Get Right, but that plant goes down, and then Get Right's so good at finding that one-on-one with Kusta. So the M4 is brought into the next round, but yeah, from a 4-on-5 position and a 4 spot in the second round, NiP, that's very effective stuff, and now they're going to go for it again. I mean, we did see Luminosity do this very same kind of play where they got it down into a 1-on-1 force buy into the next round, and it didn't work out for them, and it kind of messed with their economy for the rest of the half, but this is still very early on for NiP.
Well, they had the smokes going into the corner of Long there, all the way from T-spawn, just to force Kusta back a little bit. He's getting some backup from Adren coming in as the rest of NiP are making their way up catwalk. And this is going to be a quick round here for the Swedish team, it seems. They've got the bomb, and they're just going to be able to run it in and get the bomb down without losing anybody. They've taken a bit of damage, but I mean, this is going to be such a tough retake now for Liquid. They don't have a lot of grenades. They don't have Molotovs to clear out really anything. So a really tough follow-up here for Liquid, but they're being quick about it. Elige already on the charge here with the MP9 in hand. This bomb is down. Kusta to get the first kill, gets the follow-up as well. He's playing very well at the moment. Nitro being put into play as well. Get Right going down. And Exist can't really do anything here on Long. Kusta with the 3rd kill of the round. And it's going to be 3-0.
It's actually a very efficient retake for not having anyone at Long, having no stance over towards that A bomb site. In NiP, I don't think they realized it early enough. If they were able to get 1 or 2 people back towards catwalk to actually fight at those stairs, fight at a more narrow choke point with the Tech9s, they might have been able to do something, at least thin out Team Liquid as they came into the bomb site. But either way, that's really good stuff for Liquid.
Yeah, don't seem to be playing with very many nerves either. They sort of, I think, they even realized that they had to give up the bomb site, right?
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was some accident. They just said, okay, let's fall back and just retake it.
And also more willing to do it as well because they got aggressive in B tunnel. So they had a player in lower B who they could group up with, who could help them clear out some of the weird angles when you have to retake mid as CTs. So they had someone there to help them out, and that gives them that avenue up catwalk.
Well, NiP not finding many openings here, and I mean, the way that the terrorist side has sort of been favored in almost all maps, it seems, you'd think that NiP could get a pretty good scoreline here on the first half of Dust2. So I think Liquid are already, they must be feeling pretty good about this 3-0 lead right now. Scout on Get Right, just a little bit of a sort of evening out the money, I'm guessing, on the NiP side, but those early buys here might come back to haunt them a bit.
Yeah, we're just hoping that if he can get a lucky shot with the Scout, maybe thin things out, maybe force an awkward rotation, and it'll allow those P250s to kind of get into the action. He's going to get his first chance here peeking on catwalk, but he swings very wide. Kusta misses the initial shot. There's a leech, though, still doing work, and eventually Get Right does fall to Kusta. Nade comes out. That does not as much damage as they probably would have liked, but still, with 2 kills, they've kind of isolated this attack, and they don't really have, there's not too many areas on the map where they can feel like they're in danger.
Forest gonna be taking a fight, but Leash will drop him, and Existent fighter left, and well, that's a good long-range shot. Don't think Nitro should have necessarily lost that, but it is not gonna have a big impact on the outcome of the round. I'm wondering what NiP are gonna throw at us in the next round.
Yeah, it could be interesting, and also with Nitro going down, this is a perfect opportunity for Kusta to be able to upgrade into the AWP into the next round. They don't have to just sacrifice a gun, or they don't have to have a round where they don't have that AWP. That's going to be a key weapon on Kusta. Is how effective is he going to be with the AWP, or are they going to give it to Adren? I mean, they could have this situation where Adren has been the main operator in the past, and it's been very, very interesting seeing him play with a rifle, kind of the struggle through it. So at the moment, it looks like they're kind of wondering, and they're going to go with the 5M4 still. So no op-out for Team Liquid, even though they had the opportunity to do it. It's going to be Forrest with the chance.
Yeah, on the terrorist side, Smoke is up. He hits the shot right between the 2 players, so nobody on Liquid taking any damage, and what a great take of Upper Dark. 2 people coming in from B, 1 from Lower Dark. If there had been a push there for NiP, that would have been crushed immediately.
And also falling back to the smoke, it's still up in mid, so they have the timing on it, knowing they could fall back safely and get away. Now they just have to readjust over towards the A side. The one thing that's worrying is because they didn't spot anyone in Upper B, they've left Hiko here all alone. He's got to be very, very careful, because they're trusting him to have, you know, the read, the contact that's going to allow him to keep 4 players over towards A and mid. And it's actually very interesting. It's more catwalk defense for Team Liquid. They're not playing anyone out towards long. They're giving up a lot of space there. So if NiP go for this long play and cross, Liquid's going to have to be able to do some damage, and that just means they're very, very confident in their retakes. I'm
wondering if Elige in the middle is holding a position where he can see anyone sneak. Yeah, he is. So Hiko knows no one's coming in Lower Dark. That's like the other angle of this, which is quite effective. Now, Kusta going to be peeking up there. Nitro to pick up the first kill. Kusta goes down, but Nitro follows up, and Exist is, while jumping into the arms of Elige. Not exactly a warm welcome there. Freiburg and Forest are going to be left in a 2-on-4, and the bomb is in the middle with just 35 seconds left, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way to play this. You're just going to have to rely on a big mistake on Liquid's part, otherwise this shouldn't be working out, and I don't know what they could do at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's a mistake big enough that Liquid could do to lose this. Nitro, oh, Freiburg looked like he's going to miss that initial shot. There's Hiko with the response. That's good. 20 seconds left. Forrest just has to decide. He can get the bomb, and if he gets it quick enough, he can even make it back and at least plant. And from here, actually, there's an opportunity for him, but Adren is going to be right on the ramp. He's going to be listening for this, and he's going to take the fight. Forrest isn't ready for it. 5-0, and that's actually really cool mid-round aggression from Team Liquid. They have 3 players at Catwalk, so they know if they just stay there and get boxed in and they get pinched from Long and Cat, that can be so dangerous. So once Elige hears the presence coming up towards Catwalk, coming up towards the Xbox and mid, he calls for them to get aggressive, and they find the really good timing on it.
I think NiP, because they saw the smoke in the middle early on, they were probably thinking most of the defense is going to be over by B and Upper, and it was just Hiko there, right? So a little bit of a trick, maybe. Kusta with the early shot, taking down Python. They actually put two people down suicide, so a bit scary. And you were pointing this out, that Kusta likely to be the one to pick up this AWP, and that turns out to be the case as well. NiP, they've got to show us something.
Yeah, and Force is also on 19 HP, so Kusta actually hits 2 shots there.
Yeah.
And now with, I mean, a minute and a half left, they're essentially 3.5 on 5, you could say. And they have barely any nades. They have 1 smoke and 2 flashbangs to work with. So where do you go from here? You got to win this battle against Adren. It's not going to happen. There's Elige to follow things up. That's 2 nice kills. He could get a 3rd, but Forrest shuts it down. but he's got no HP, and in a 1-on-4, there's nothing for him to do but try and make magic happen through the smoke. Another nice round from Liquid, and already a pause out of the NiP side.
Well then, you've been, I think you were one of the early and so maybe even the first sort of proponent of Kuster as a high-level player, right?
Yep.
And so what do you think about seeing him at this level here on LAN? I mean, they were talking a bit about it on the desk. He's a younger player. He doesn't have the experience and all that stuff. I mean, how much can we take away from this early? We're 7 rounds in now.
I mean, obviously, he's had a huge impact from that pistol round, 2 kills in the first gun round, and now with the op, we'll see what kind of pressure he can continue exerting. That round was very, very nice from him. The confidence, I think, knowing that he's probably not going to be against another op to peak mid like that. But the thing with Kusta, I mean, he had Malmo. It was obviously rough. There were some awkward situations he was put in there. He had Austin, where he still kind of looked a little bit shaky. But it's all about getting him experience, you know? It's all about... he's got the skills. It's all about making sure you teach him how to play within the framework of a team, teach him how to use the game sense of how the game flows, to find his spots to op, and hopefully he continues to grow. Actually, I mean, we were just talking about this in Austin, because I was surprised that he hadn't kind of improved and taken a step towards that next level by the time Austin rolled around. So if it's going to happen here, this is a really good timing for it. Yeah,
obviously, if you had to choose between Austin and here, probably want to succeed. Because the prize pool is obviously a little bit bigger this time around. I'm interested. I'm curious. We did have a technical timeout. I think a tactical timeout, and then I think it was turned into sort of a technical one as one of the NiP players dropped. Threat is obviously going to be helping out NiP here, and I have quite a lot of respect for the sort of the level that Threat brings in terms of tactics. Dust2, I think, is maybe not. I mean, obviously you could do it, but it's not the best map for it. You know, I think Threat would be more valuable as a sixth man if they were playing almost any other map.
Yeah, well, you're right. This is a little bit more where you can throw tactics a little bit more loose and allow the individual skill to shine. Also, I mean, one of the strengths that NiP has and most European teams will have against any North American team is how deep the map pool is. Their map pool is compared to the North American team, and this is one of the maps that Liquid likes to play. So it is a little bit. They mentioned that on the desk, I believe, as well. A little bit. They touched on it. Surprising that NiP let this through, and they could have gone to so many other options. Yeah, there used to be like 3 maps, weren't there, that we'd call like the NA maps, where we were like Cash and Dust2 and I guess to some extent Inferno as well. But so yeah, and those were like the maps you'd want to avoid if you were playing a top level NA team. I don't know. I mean, so what would you say? What's the correct move here? They've obviously been trying to play a bit defensive, NiP. They have tried to be very aggressive on Catwalk, where they did get the bomb down. I mean, that's a good start to any round. Yeah, well, part of it, too, is if NiP is going to start to notice that because Liquid's had big presence on Catwalk many times. The pistol, first gun, we just saw the most recent where Adren and Elise just did there. So, I mean, if there's going to be Catwalk pressure for Team Liquid, if that's where they want to mount their defense at the, say, bomb site, I mean, you have to be able to apply pressure on it in mid and then also work your way up long. If you're going to have a lot of space to work with there, get a couple players out long. They really haven't tested that too much. They had Forrest out there all alone a few rounds back, but put a few more bodies there, keep that defense on Catwalk, and then you have it pinched in. You can take that A bomb site, and then the defenders on Catwalk are forced to make a decision. And that's where you can kind of see maybe that pressure is going to allow them to make a mistake, push forward a little bit too far. Maybe they just lose some battles coming back into the site. But really, I mean, I think it does kind of touch on the fact that NiP has been pretty passive so far in this game.
Well, we should be figuring out what's up at any moment. We are not quite live yet, as far as I can tell. So just waiting for everything to get underway. Kusta's been trying to make this jump for quite a while, so best of luck to him. Yeah. What about something as simple as a B split? You know, assuming they can push Liquid back from the sort of immediate Catwalk area. Yeah, go back to the basics a little bit. Yeah, just split middle out through upper dark as well. They did only try that against you know, on their force buy with just the Tech 9s. Also, I mean, that is something that Liquid actually struggled with at times in Dust2, and I mean, they notably at the major when they did that match against Fnatic that they won. The reason they said they won that match is because they figured out the Dust2. They started to really learn how to defend against it, and there's no reason not to apply pressure there. It's such an effective tactic. The big thing, though, is NiP's not even finding opening picks. I think if we like ever, when we get back in game, we can go back to the scoreboard and touch on it. But, I mean, it's Get Right, Force, and Exist with 2 kills each. Freiburg has 1. I mean, they're not even finding any kills across the map. So the tactics that they run, obviously, I mean, you can have an impact there, but you have to be able to find those kills, and they're not having that success. No, they're definitely not. And NiP traditionally used to be a team that was always in group stage, very, very slow out the gate. You know, even when they were like, you know, the number one team, I feel like they always had some weird games in group stages, and it seemed to be once you hit the playoffs, they'd come alive a lot more. I feel like at this day and age, you can't do that anymore. Like being slow means you lose. Look at Astralis playing Optic. You know, it's just.
Well, now playing Luminosity.
And now playing Luminosity, right? That's so mad.
No fun there.
That is so mad.
It is.
And imagine, I mean, but this can happen now. Like even the tier 2 teams, or even the tier 3 teams, it seems, can actually come alive and do a lot of work.
I mean, obviously, it's very obvious the North American teams. We'll just do the understatement of the year, have not had much success, and it has become kind of a little bit of a running joke in the community that NA teams just can't find it. You say NA anything to.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, right. Sure, I am in the green room with you. You can't lie to me. But I mean, these are dangerous teams, especially in best of ones. There is, despite the results that we've seen over the years, there is a lot of skill on these North American teams. And if you look at Optic with this upset now, if they're going to start putting things together, they're going to increasingly be. It's actually like. It's so hard, right? Because you almost want to say it's actually impossible that North American teams can struggle for this long, but it continues to happen. Eventually, they're going to figure it out. And no matter what it might be, especially in BO1s, you can't let your guard down. Because one player, we've seen Elige do it, we've seen Nitro do it, we've seen Hiko do it, obviously. Any of these players can go off and carry you through a best of one.
You know what's going to happen, Moses?
Yes.
This is bound to happen. Just at the point in time where you could tell that the curve for NA teams is going up and that they're in it to win it, then just when that happens, they're gonna get eclipsed by like 1 or 2 amazing Chinese teams.
Yeah, we've done it once with Brazil. We're used to that as well.
Yeah,
we've got experience.
Yeah, but just when the Brazilian scene has been figured out, and you're like, right, we could like maybe beat the Brazilians, the Chinese are gonna show up, and it'll be devastating.
We'll have to get like Sadicus and Henry to tell this story. Apparently, they have a bet now with Monte Cristo that at some point in the next 2 years, a Korean team's gonna win a major.
So who's bet for what?
Well, Monty obviously bets for the Korean teams to win the major.
Damn, that is bold.
That is bold. But 2 years is a pretty, or I think it was 2 years. 2 years is a long time.
2 years is long. Well, actually, I mean, I would actually say that in Counter-Strike years, 2 years isn't a long time, but the rate at which people are learning this game now is incredible. Yeah. I think there's ever been a time where that's happened in the same way. So I think, I mean, obviously learning just to play Counter-Strike is sort of fairly easy, but to play the top level, it takes years and years, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, the nuances of playing at the professional level is actually pretty insane, because you're no longer thinking of your own game, you're thinking of your teammates' games as well. And that's always really tough. It takes a long time, especially with specific people that you have to play with. I mean, every time there's a roster change, you kind of get reset a little bit. It's like you take 3 or 4 steps back. So yeah, there's a lot of difficulties to it, obviously, but I mean, there's so much emphasis put on it now. It's turning into like this new thing where now we're having the gaming offices. We've seen all those tweets about that. We're having all this money put into it where now it can be focused on more. We've been saying that for a year now, so it is going to be just a matter of time before we see some new teams, some new players come into it and be given all the resources possible to skip a couple steps.
Yeah. So now what I would like to stop seeing teams show up for really big tournaments like this or a major tournament or something and then appear to be sort of not really ready to play, I mean, they're obviously there, they were just in the warm-up, but mentally something has gone hard. Like, I don't want to see Astralis lose to Optic in a group stage match just because they should be ready for almost anything, right? And it seems like there are some mental things like that don't get worked on enough, I feel like.
Well, and also it comes down to the fact that perhaps coming into this, and I don't know this, I didn't talk to the Astralis guys at all, but you look at know that HLTV just had that interview with Stanislaw, where his headline quote of the interview is Astralis was easy to read. So obviously we've talked about this in the past.
That's badass as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You gotta like that. But obviously, I mean, coming into it, Optic has more to learn about Astralis than Astralis does about Optic. They might have come into it and said, yeah, it might look at like a demo, might just see what they like to do, but you're not actually looking in depth at this team because you're so far ahead of them, and that's what's going to start happening. So I mean, that's been the case in every sport, though, right? When there's always like in every competitive activity, there's always that one time where the favorite overlooks someone just a little bit and get caught off guard by something.
Well, I think we've managed to restore the game. We might just need another reload because apparently someone missport. Can you restart a game because of that?
I believe so.
All right.
I don't know. I did not read the rulebook before coming in here.
I think I did once, but I've made room for other things in my mind in the meantime. You know,
Clash Royale strategy.
Clash Royale, yeah, for sure. People to Google, stuff like that. You know, just a list in my mind, stuff like that. All the important things.
It's a dangerous topic to get into.
Yeah, 6-0, and we're moving into the 7th round. I think we are good to go. So, thank you to the admin, and we should be ready with it here. NiP with pistols, with armor, and with a bit of a tough, you know, map on their hands right now, as they might very well be losing to Liquid here. 6-0 lead. I would say if Liquid had got 6 rounds overall in this half, I would have been like all right with it. I would have thought that's decent, you know. They're in a pretty good spot. So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed right now.
You got to imagine they're going to be able to get more. And here comes a little bit of that split just with the pistols. Adren is out towards long. Kusa is going to be in the swing position with that AWP, and a Liege up towards Goose at the A bomb site. But as soon as they put pressure on Catwalk and get that smoke down, all 3 members of NiP are just going to kind of stall out, wait for that. Doesn't look like they actually want to fall back. They do have armor, but this is kind of, they have the full losing bonus, obviously, so they're kind of half bought, so everyone's going to be able to find in the next round. Force is the only one who doesn't really invest into much. He wants to have that AWP next round. And all they can really, I mean, it looks like with this setup and with the weapons they have, all they can really hope for, they don't have any smokes, is getting this bomb down. Because they don't have any smokes to block off Kusta. Liege is going to have free reign if they don't clear that out. It's just flashbangs here.
Trying to look for the opening, and actually Kusta maybe almost overextending a little bit here. Long range fight, Adren going down. Only 1 man left on the bomb side, and Liege, he's going to get overrun. And now it's going to be down to Nitro and Hiko. 2 on 4. Nitro out of the open, sprays down to NiP, taking the victory for granted. Get Right going to be going down. Nitro showing up with a cape on his back like some sort of superhero and saving the round. It's Forest now with 20 seconds in a 1-on-2, and it doesn't seem possible any longer. Wow, I don't think they were counting on that quick rotation, and I think they may have just been a little bit too excited that they'd done so well. Well, let's not count Forrest out. He does have the chance to hit some great headshots here, but grenade raining in, gonna have to move out of that position. Everything rides on the back of Forrest here. Been a great round already. He's down there in the open, and without armor, just no way to win that fight.
Thank God Nitro's here. What a mistake. And this is actually one of the things that, you know, we touched on Kusa during that extended pause. One of the things that he struggled with in Austin, there were a couple games where he was really out of position. His position on the map was really hindering him from having a good game. It really hurt Team Liquid in a couple matches, and there you can see, for whatever reason, they have a decent setup. They have 1 long, they have him at the cars with an AWP, and they have Elysian in the bomb site, so there's no reason for him to have to try and jump up on the rails to get into the site. That actually just overexposed him, and that allowed the entire defense to crumble behind it. So positioning from Team Liquid, not just Kusta Adren as well, I mean, that defense in the A bomb site, it was solid until they moved.
And that's obviously a bit scary, but yeah, Nitro showing up with a quad kill overall in that round. You must be feeling good. 7-0 right now, and NiP. Last round, you know, could have happened, but this time they have the AWP on Forest. They have all the grenades they could want, and I really want to see something deep come out of them here. I think this for NiP's confidence sake as well, they're going to need to win this round.
Yeah, standard mid-control, though, back up towards Catwalk for him. This time there's not going to be any defense present at Catwalk. It's just Kusta watching. 1 member of Liquid Elysian in CT spawn, 2 in the B bomb site, so very, very spread out, just a standard, basically a default. And a lot of emphasis is going to be on Kusa. This is a retake, so he only needs to get 1 or 2 kills as this hit comes in before he has to just fall back. That should be his goal.
Yeah, well, he's trying to see if he can make it work, but we'll be going down. Wondering if the camera is stuck somehow. Liege is going to be dropped as well. Freiburg going down next, but still a favorable trade here for NiP. Nitro going to be taking out Pith here, and it's a 3-on-3 with the bomb down, but the really big thing is Get Right obviously lurking down here in underpowered Lord Darken. Just going to be trading evenly there, and Forrest picking up Adren all on Hiko now, you know, 1v2, and I'm guessing our observers keyboard or mouse got disconnected, but Hiko going to be going down. A double kill for Forest, and NiP winning their first round.
I think we were just setting Hiko up that entire round.
Yeah.
Staying on him for this one moment, as if he was going to shine in the 1-on-2.
See, that would have made it all perfect.
That would have made it all better.
So come on, talk to me. We didn't see it, but Kusta was covering the cross and sort of catwalk from down on A long. I mean, does he have to stay and fight there, or can he fall back and play defensively on long instead? Like, what's his goal when he's got the AWP in that position?
You take one shot, you get your kill, and I mean, it's definitely going to be a retake. So you just fall away, grab a new angle, you help a Dren hold long until your teammates come in. He actually, I mean, he did it right. He took his shot, and he was trying to fall back. He just couldn't get away in time. It was really nice aggression out of NiP to not let him get away. And now the scary part for Liquid is, although they've won they won 7 in a row, that last round against just the P250s that came into a 2-on-1, their money's pretty hurt at the moment. So now Kusta with another chance here tries to find the timing. He's just gonna fall away.
Yeah, but still a good position. You know, it's not entirely risk-free, but it's close to being that. And you see he takes no damage at all. So just clocking past the minute mark here, as we've got NiP still setting up, but this time it looks like an A split. So, I mean, what's the defense like here for Liquid?
It's designed to hold long. There's going to be a Dren and Kusta with them as well. I'm wondering, though, Kusta could get negated. It's going to be all if he can bait them into a Dren properly, but there's the first shot, he misses it. That's not good. Adren, though, he's completely blind. Kusta recovers on a Get Right. They still don't know Adren is here, and because Get Right got so far, he's able to grab one more. Kusta around the smoke, that's the bomb as well. That should be the round. 30 seconds left. Elijah's going to be able to get one as well. This is a good defense by Liquid.
Freiburg going to be going down Elige with the double kill and Kusta down on long. And I think you're right, that was a really good point, wasn't it? Get Right. When he's that far in towards pit, no one is going to check the blue box down, and that's just not a thing. So almost sort of baiting his teammates a little bit into sudden death there. Kusta still at 12, Nitro at 10. 4 of those kills out of that miraculous round. We're going to move into the 10th round here with NiP. Almost nothing in their bank here. This is opposite day, Moses. Everyone is winning essentially the wrong matches.
It is a little bit weird, and here's Elijah on the anti-ego. He did this on the second round as well. I think he spotted Get Right. Now he's got to be very careful. He's going to take that fight. He's going to win it. He's got one more behind him, though, so he's trying to fall back. They box him in. He's very, very low, but Adren's there for the save, and Elijah continues his tear just down to exist. And he's going to get one more onto Adren, but not too much more he can realistically do.
No, 14 health and not much else. So, you know, maybe steal a rifle somewhere if they give up on it, but it looks like they're going to be covering all of that stuff. So, what's the Hail Mary play for NiP? They've tried a lot of different things, and it seems like the only thing that comes close to working out or has worked out is that A push.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be able to punish that defense if it's going to be on catwalk like that. NiP hasn't been able to do it. But that split out towards long even. It looked like there was some possibility if they had just been able to clear out Adren. That's obviously a spot that, you know, like we mentioned, with Get Right getting there, they didn't even think to check. But they're not having a lot of success today, and they haven't even really tested B bomb site quite yet. They haven't put any pressure on it. No mid B splits, no just heavy upper B plays like that. It's not a double op setup out of Team Liquid, so I mean, there are things they can exploit. They just haven't really investigated out towards mid at all.
And surely they are going to be talking all this time when Exist is here, just trying to figure out what is going on. Exist has managed to sneak down in the middle, but he will get caught eventually and put us at a 9-1 scoreline.
I think that does have to be the switch up. They have to test something in mid. Just either walk out, see what you can execute, see what you can find, go for some trades. But that half of the map has largely been ignored, and you can see it too. Elijah is playing pretty dedicated to the A bomb site because there's been so much emphasis there. The big question from if you're Team Liquid is, when do you ever switch away from that? Do you try and guess when NiP is going to switch up to go to the B bomb site?
Well, they still have just the 2 players there in a round like this, and NiP still committed to the very sort of slow start. I mean, you can actually rush middle if you feel like it. Usually people end up doing it with Tech9. Some of you see Fnatic do every once in a while, but right now they're just still being a bit slow. But at least they're out the middle eventually. And Python moving in here. So if he could find the opening, flashbang goes up, and actually, ironically, that sort of pushes Elijah into middle, which might have been slightly worse for NiP, unless they could get the good kill starting off here. Flashbang goes through, Elijah gonna go for the early fight. He doesn't quite win it. Pyth will end up taking him down, and that's a good start.
Yeah, he flashed that, but it almost seemed like he was just peeking very lazily, not even expecting anyone to be there. Like, that flash was kind of just for show. So Pitt gets that opening kill, and now this puts Liquid in a tough spot. Look at the utility they have. They're almost out of nades. And NiP with full mid control after they've taken that one player. They can go wherever, and Forrest is just waiting for any kind of information peek. And this is the one he wants, and he misses the shot. Nitro gets away with one.
Now, the one problem is NiP seem to want to go catwalk again, and last time Kusta didn't get the shots, but he is in position by car, and you could be so effective here. I mean, it's sort of a streaky thing. Like either you get no kills and you end up sort of falling away, or sometimes you get just 3 or 4 in a row. And NiP, they're sort of out of time to play with this. So if the bomb drops, and especially on Catwalk, it could drop quite far away. You've got to be careful. Adren stays. Oh, he gets the second one as well. Otherwise, Kusta's going to get sandwiched in. That's Freiburg going down as the last man in. Kusta not quite hitting that shot. But again, it's going to be a 3-on-4 retake here in Liquid. Thanks to Adren doing a very good job defending down at long. So we'll see if the retake is going to work. They did it almost effortlessly last time, but this time it might be a bit more tricky. As I say that, though, Adren picks up a 3rd kill. Hiko coming in with a shot of his own, and Forrest going to be going down. And Liquid, just this retake is no issue for them.
Yeah, well, they destroyed half the attack out towards long. Adren gets very fortunate, completely blind to get that 2nd kill. And that was smart, I think, from Kusa there. Smart by Liquid. They kind of give it up once they hear that A hit coming in. Kusa actually bails out from that spot, doesn't even go for that first shot, just comes to help Adren. Didn't need it, but then with them staying alive out towards long, it prevents anyone from NiP taking any kind of good positioning to guard against that portion of the retake. Everyone's boxed up towards Catwalk, towards the quad box, towards the bomb site, and it's pretty easy from there for Liquid. There's so many spots they don't have to check. Did
NiP make a mistake ending up on this map during the veto? Was that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not necessarily because they're bad on it. I mean, this is definitely a poor showing on the map, but it's more so because this is one of the few maps. Team Liquid actually doesn't have a deep map pool. Like once you got to imagine their next match, Dust2 is going to be banned, and then it's like where do they go? Their other map that they like to play is Cash. That could easily get banned out, and after that, they're very, very weak. There's Kusa with a nice recovery. He's going to get taken out, but Elige is there for the recovery.
Not at all bad. Nitro picking it up, and you did mention this this idea of the double AWP setup, right? Now you have Nitro over at B, so if NiP had thoughts about going there eventually, now they might have to sort of guess again, essentially. Get right, could have maybe got a shot on Elige, but now that he's out in the open here, he's going to be going down to Adren, and we'll be looking at an 11-1 scoreline here, favoring North American Team Liquid. And NiP, they've been looking, I think, better and better for ever since Threat joined, essentially.
Yeah, and capped off by that huge win in Malmo, where we had a couple events where we were kind of like waiting to see exactly what they could bring to the table. Katowice was their first event together in the major. Pitt couldn't show up, and then they win Malmo. At the moment, though, everyone on NiP is struggling. They still don't have a lot of kills racked up on this team, and now it's almost like, all right, guys, loosen up. Make some plays. They're going to get out mid quickly, but look at the adjustment from Liquid. They're going to push 2 into upper B, and they're also going to have Elige here as well, but Exist punishes that push, and there goes Adren. That's over towards the A-bomb site, so NiP, they seem to get less tactical, and now it's working.
Rolling in, Exist with a double kill. Elige going to take down 1 before he drops to Freiburg, and Kusta here in the middle, and playing with the C-set 75 close range. I don't know what the money is like on Liquid, but normally it'd be a bit madness to try and go for this 1 versus 4, and he's getting flanked as well from Get Right here. So Kusta is already dead. He just doesn't quite know it yet. Going to be sneaking up, and Get Right will take him out. So 11-2.
Yeah, still plenty of money on the Liquid side. Got to be careful though, because that was just NiP. Just some very, very individual one-on-ones taken because of the a little bit perhaps aggressive from Team Liquid pushing into upper B like that. But at least they get their second round on the board, and now they desperately need these last 2 rounds.
Yeah, 11-4 is the best possible scenario right now if you're on the NiP team, and see if they can successfully navigate to that point. Kusta sneaking up in the middle, and a secure flick there, and they can't even punish it. Didn't have anyone on the box in the middle. Instead, Pith going to be trying to sneak out into mid, looking for an opening. I think he did spot out Nitro up there, but he's still going to be going down. Nitro actually taking that fight, and now 5 versus 3 in favor of Liquid.
Oh, this is going to be heartbreaking if you're NiP. Not a lot of money built up, obviously, just 1 round win. And previously when they won their round, they got reset immediately afterwards. This time it's going to be less damaging, obviously, because they only won 1 more round and a half. But they're going to be doing that with just pistols if they can't win this 3-on-5. And now Elige, if he gets 1 pop flash from a teammate, they've got 1 on Nitro. It's the only one left. He could essentially just clear out mid all on his own. Jumping across, though, Forrest almost lands a shot.
That would have been scary. Now comes the push. Forrest is going to have to get him killed immediately here. Hiko is down behind that box, and he can't be seen from upper dark either. That's why that position is so solid. He gets a kill before he goes down. Nitro picking it up, turning around, looking for the fight on Forrest there, who gets dropped down to 38, and then the grenade follow-up. An absolute dunk from Elige is going to get them 12 rounds.
This has been an absolutely ridiculous half out of Team Liquid.
It really has been.
The retakes have been so good.
And, I mean, the bar was set pretty high. Kusta starting off the game with 3 headshots from the USP. just wrecking, you know, almost all of NiP.
Yeah, and now even Elige has stepped up since then. He's 16-7. He's just ahead of Kusta at 15 kills. Really good performance out of those two for the Team Liquid side, but they haven't. I mean, some of these rounds have just been dominant, but it was early on. It was a lot of those retakes and that 6-0 run they had to start things out that really kind of propelled them forward. That allowed them to build up money to sustain some deaths. They haven't really been in danger of getting reset ever, except for maybe one round.
NiP, it's going to be a bit of a wake-up call for them here. And playing in the second half here on the CT side, I think it's going to be so difficult for them to get back. I think even 11-4 would have been, I think a bit of a fantasy, really. But with a potential 13-2 scoreline here, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, they don't really have any mistakes to play with in the second half, do they? It's going to start, obviously, with a pistol round, but even if they win that, it's like just you guys can't mess anything up. You have to go on some kind of a massive run to even catch up on the scoreline before you can allow Team Liquid to get a single round. And even this time, I mean, they're not going to be able to give himself too much of a cushion. Galil, AK-47, Kusta, he's going to be tested, though. He's the only one here at this bomb site. So Liquid should be able to hold long. It's how many kills? I don't think Kusta spotted them. And he just was aware. I think he might have heard a footstep taking this battle. Missing a couple flicks, though. He's getting really, really pressured. That's a nice recovery. And there it is, the second shot. Just barely hangs on. It does eventually get taken out by Force, but he bought the time, and you could see this split out of NiP from long. These last two players, it was very disjointed. The timing was so off.
Wow, it looked like Kusta was about to let go of that site, but no issue for him. I think he ends up top fragging at the end of the game here. Or did he just got overtaken by Elige, but 18 on Elige, 17 on Kusta, and a 13-2 scoreline favoring Team Liquid. What a fantastic way to start off for them here on day one. Well, we're back with the second half here on Dust2 between Liquid and NiP. And if they're looking just a little bit undissatisfied, I guess is a kind way to say it, it's because they've been absolutely spanked by Team Liquid. Like, not the good kind of spanking, Moses, but the... I know you had a little smile on your face then. You were like, yeah. Oh, all right.
There's a lot of good kinds of spanking, Anders. This was not one of them.
Is this where you have actually, you've already thrown out the safe word? She's not listening.
Yeah, there's obviously no safe word.
Yeah, that's gone.
This is like a true old-fashioned, like, North American spanking.
Wow.
Could have gone somewhere else with that one, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it there.
I was on the edge of my seat wondering where that was going to
What word I was going to use.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kusta already a little bit low on health here as NiP is setting up. But I mean, the CT side of Dust2 has to be one of the best sort of sides for playing CT pistol, just because you get so much range with that USPS to fight the Glocks in. Forest, though, is going to be close range, and he will already pick up one shot there. Escapes through the smoke. Some actual ninja play coming out of Forest here, but now he's trapped in an awful corner, and he's going to go down to Dren to follow up on Freiburg, and Nitro taking out Exist. It's all on Pyth now. He gets a double kill and needs one more here. A single bullet to take down Kusta, and that much might be it. I think he spotted him as well as Kusta in a very bad position right now. Even a smoke going up into the double doors, and Kusta's going to almost take down as a challenge, saying, all right, I'll just try and sneak my way through. Pyth still up on the plateau behind the box. There's so much time left. He's out in the open as well. And Kusta, he's been spotted. Pyth is coming through. He's looking for the shot here. Kusta trying to see if he can do it. 7 bullets left. Now just down to 22 health. 2 bullets. Hasn't reloaded. He jumps. He's got just enough time. Pyth is not finding him. Oh my god. And Kusta's going to be able to do it with the burst fire. Oh no. What a ridiculously drawn out one-on-one. But Kusta gets the only kill of the round that he needed.
That is unreal. I mean, that's kind of the epitome of this entire match so far for NiP. Is it just looks like there's like no confidence, no aggression out of any of them. Like, why isn't Pitt being more aggressive with that fight? I mean, there's 30 seconds left on the clock, and it almost feels like he's trying to play for the time.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, there's NiP. They came out in this one just a little bit scared. It feels like. I mean, at least on this pistol round or the second round now, huge advantage. So they've kind of turned it around a little bit. But is there, I mean, can they finish this one out? Elige is still waiting with the SMG. There's 2 AKs on the board. Not a lot of utility, but Team Liquid, they have the arsenal to win some of these aim fights they're going to have to take.
Oh, where does that grenade go from Elige? All right, it lands on the headshot box. All right. All right. I was wondering if you had a grenade for mid that was thrown from there, because that would have been interesting. Well, he's out in the middle. He's got the gun that they can at least sacrifice here. Exist very nearly goes down, but it's still a 2-on-4 right now. Nitro and Hiko trying to see if they could bring it back. Forest in a good position to spot them very early on and already doing good damage there. Not going to try for the jump scout. It's a bit disappointing, but still takes down Hiko. There's the jump scout, and Nitro down to 51. He gets the first shot and Exist. Still a 1-on-3 on his hands here with 50 seconds left on the clock, and Forest actually just doing a great job of staying alive and getting the follow-up triple kill there. And we've got Liquid now still in the lead with 14-3. Tell me, Moses.
No reason to buy here. If you're Team Liquid?
Are they gonna,
what was your question?
Are they going to lose 16-14?
Why are you doing this? Why are you saying this?
I have to ask
I'm not
these
even
questions.
entertaining this line of thought. I will have a meltdown.
Would you say there's a 0% chance that they will that they will lose 16-14?
No, there's never a 0% chance.
Right.
It's very possible still, but I mean, it would be just a monumental comeback. It would take a complete meltdown on the side of Liquid. For them to lose this match. But I like that they didn't buy here. I like that they didn't force buy here. You have 14-3. No reason to damage your economy in any kind of a way. No reason to put it in a really weird buying cycle this early on when you have such a lead. There's a good flash. Exist is at least forced back by a second flash as well, and even a third. So Pitt is the only one on the ramp they have to deal with, and they're just trying to get the bomb planted. But NiP, they're being so hyper-aggressive on this. They might not let it happen, although Elige, it's too late for that. The bomb does go down, so Liquid's going to get their goals accomplished. They get that $800 bonus money.
Well,
I can't believe you asked me that question.
I can't help it. Yeah, I'm wondering who would be the first person on Liquid to kill his teammates if that did happen. You know, we need security in here. You know, to just calm everything down. You know,
escort them back to the hotel quietly.
It's just a game. Don't worry.
Well, now's the buy. 5 AKs on the board. Pitt's got the Pyth has got the AWP.
Yeah. But just, I mean, all right. I don't mind that specifically on the CT side here. But if we saw Forest AWPing on T side, obviously,
yep.
He's quite good with the AWP, I would say.
But it was Pyth at Malmo that was like the secondary op when they rolled the double op setups.
Yeah. Well, looks like it's going to have a bit of an attack coming out here as Freiburg goes down. That is a nice peek from Nitro and gives them control along. And Exist, I think, just a little bit too aggressive there. Pyth picking up one shot, going for a second as well, and killing that entire push from Liquid, who probably did not need to continue after trading 2 for none, but they kind of did anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, and even Nitro, like Jiggle peeking with no HP, he gets hit in the head anyways from Forest, but they don't have the tools to battle that AWP at that range. Would have been nice to see them slow things down after being up 5-3. Maybe throw the smokes before they start peeking. Either way, now they're stuck in this position. 2-on-3, although it is Adren and Hiko, and these two have worked together very, very well in the past on these clutch rounds. And Adren, this time, not going to get anything. He's challenging Get Right, so that'll happen once in a while. So it's all on Hiko now, and he's got no advantages in this.
No, he really doesn't. They kind of know where he is, especially as he puts up that smoke. He's not got much time left. Bomb he's about to pick up, so I guess that's a little bit better, but yeah, I think NiP would have to make some pretty serious mistakes to lose a 1v3 like this. Now he's also making a bit of noise, and Hythe's going to pick up the 3rd kill, so solid play coming out of him, really. Seems like he's the only one from NiP so far that's playing reliably in this game, maybe him and Forrest.
Yeah, Pitt definitely the best first half of the team, but that round there, he bails him out of a really, really tough spot. Has to hit some 6 shots, and he's aided by the fact that Liquid's pressuring that kind of scenario. They don't have the HEs to damage him. They don't have flashbangs to keep him blind and behind that box. Because, I mean, if they have any amount of nades to throw at him there, he's got to be pinned down behind that box, which is spammable, which is really hard to escape from, but they had nothing to pressure him with, so he's able to get three kills in that round. 2 to stop the initial push.
Yeah. Now, if you are keeping an eye on it, Moses, it's now 11 rounds. So I'm just saying.
It's not 11 rounds, is it?
Well, I mean, until NiP make the full comeback. Right?
Oh, okay. Thought you mistake the spread of that match, but yeah, it is. It is a little bit closer. Feeling a little bit more nervous. Liquid probably is as well at the moment, and Get Right's going to play with the edge of the smoke, and him and Exist are going to slaughter everyone. Now it's just onto that B attack, and Force is in here completely blind, but they can't get out of their own smoke, so things are going to get cleaned out. So 6-14.
Come on, I would almost say this. I would almost say at this point that it actually is a characteristic of there is like some sort of distinct gap between a team that can somehow like find 2 rounds. They have to win 2 out of the next 10 rounds, and then they got this game, right? And that is a different mentality from saying we just have to win as many rounds as possible. Like if you win 2 out of 10, you can even afford to throw some rounds away as like test rounds to see what the setup is like or how they respond to a certain thing, and then build into you only need 2 out of the 10, so you just do something. I'm wondering if Liquid have that sort of mentality, if they could say we're not interested, we just need 2 rounds, let's do that.
Well, there is that. It is that weird kind of next step you have to take as a team is learning how to close out games. Yeah. It is a completely different animal from getting to the point where you can win them and closing them out. And NiP, obviously, all the experience in the world, knows how to close out games, knows how to come back in games. So, I mean, if Team Liquid's going to give them any feeling that they're still in this one, then NiP can take advantage of that, and they can really beat up on Liquid. This is going to be tough for them. This gun round right here is crucially important to see if Team Liquid, because once you get toward that 15, you play with a little bit more confidence, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you know that every potential opening shot is going to be maybe the game in your favor. So we'll see. Down to about 50 seconds left here as they try and put forward. Pith still down at long here, and Exist spotting out the whole push coming out right now. Flashbang goes really high, and he does do a lot of damage there, but he ends up getting downed. Nitro on 12 health, and the bomb is going to be planted, but look at what Liquid have done. Just like NiP did, they have left a guy in lower dark, and that's such an important position right now. Going to make this retake so hard for NiP.
I feel like normally this player would be Hiko in that spot, but it's actually Adren, so they've switched up positioning a little bit. There's Kusa with a nice shot with the AK. He goes for a second one as well. Now Adren's lurk is going to be so effective. Get Right is in CT spawn, but he's got nothing to do. He couldn't find Adren. So there's that 15 out of Team Liquid. A really, really nice execution on the 8 bomb site. Although it did feel like Pitt with the AWP kind of gave up his angle a little bit too soon. Thought he was going to get flashed, and kind of Exist felt a little bit abandoned there at the railing.
Yeah, because we were pointing out that actually giving up that position is what you should do and run back long if you don't hit the shot. But obviously when Exist is on the bomb site, the sort of the calculation changes a bit. And it did seem like there was some sort of miscoordination there. Yeah,
especially because the flashbang Exist throws freezes Team Liquid at the corner at quad.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a perfect angle. That's a very safe angle for that Opera to take the battle. And there's Pitt chiming in from Catwalk, opening kill onto Adren. So Liquid are going to have to readjust.
Well, Hiko and a lot of teammates down at long. Freiburg, he got knocked out pretty well, not the previous round, but the one before that, by Nitro just entering on him down there. So we've got to be a bit careful, losing that long control. In the middle, Forrest missing a shot that it looked like he shouldn't have been able to miss there. Looked like that was dead on. Taking some damage, which is a bit scary, but NiP still in control of this round so far. Get right, could almost get caught with a grenade in hand there. Elysian in the corner gets flashed from that. And I have no idea how he's still alive.
Yeah, I don't either. Nice flashbang from Get Right, though. Elysian completely blinded. This A hit is going to come in, and it's a little susceptible right now. Hit with the AWP. There's the first kill. No flashbangs on the Liquid side, so he's got free reign to take that shot. And you can see he just falls back a little bit. Now he has a brand new angle. That's going to give him one more kill. Hiko's now the next one on the site, but he has to get the bomb planted. And Elysia's going to try and cover him. Drops down, but Exist recovers. Reacts nicely, and Hiko can't get anything done. So all 5 members of NiP survive. They reset the bonus on the Liquid side after winning just 1 round. They're back to losing. So, and yeah, they don't really even have enough money to buy up in this round. 2 members can have pretty strong buys of the AKs, but outside of that, it'd be very, very sketchy. So Liquid, with 8 rounds to play with, just going to save in this one.
Yeah, no, and again, they must not be feeling too much pressure here. NiP need to win 8 rounds in a row to get into overtime, and actually do have some light pistols being picked up here on Liquid, but again, just evening out the money, which I don't mind too much. Give yourself some odd chance of maybe doing it. Kusta gonna get down at long. He was the only one there, and I sort of thought the rest would actually push into B.
I think that was the plan, but the Molotov, you know, no one likes to run through fire except for Summit. So, I know, I'm
too
sorry.
soon.
Yeah, that is a little too soon.
Yeah, right. Going for the spray as they cross on over, and Forrest is there to help out a bit. Might be a bit of an issue here as Forrest is now alone on the site, and he's going to get flanked from... Oh, no, he's not. Elysia actually goes down, and Pyth going to take the shot through. I thought Elysia was going to come running out of the window behind Forrest, but good teamwork.
I imagine... oh, this is a tough call for Liquid. I would actually say that they're gonna save one more and let Kusta get up towards that AWP. Has been interesting though. They haven't even in the first half, the CT side, even in the first gun round, they kept Kusta on the rifle. He's actually had some pretty good rifle rounds in this match. So they've been more than willing to keep him on an AK or an M4 instead of the AWP.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, almost all the work he did on the first half was just with a rifle. So maybe just keep it up at this rate. And Liquid not quite able to buy again. They didn't get the bomb plant down, so they're just going to play it safe. They know they have the rounds to sort of throw away here. They can still be quite safe. NiP basically only need to make one mistake, and they're going to lose this map.
It looks like Liquid just wants to do a standard execute on the A site with 2 players coming out long. The question is, though, because this player at railing is normally exists, the op is usually towards car. That's going to be a switch up. Freiburg is dinked. There goes Kusta, finishes him off. There's a second member of NiP here. That's Exist. And the hit is on towards the A bomb site. Pit gets dinked. He's very, very close to falling. He's got to hit that shot, and he does. Now he has to try and stay alive as long as possible. Exist is here to help out, but he's going to get pressured by Kusta, who's found out. But here's another plant for Team Liquid.
Yeah, so they get the money, and I mean, I think that was well handled enough by Exist. He knew that he had to stay alive down there, because if he dies, then everything goes south. Adren gunning away with the Tech 9. That's a long-range battle for him to take, and it does work out, but he gets down by Get Right, and it will be NiP winning it up to the 9th round here for them, so 9-15.
One of the ways we haven't talked about yet, which is a way for Liquid to win this match with the sheer amount of rounds they've had to play with, still with 6, they can grind out the economy pretty well. So with 3 kills there, they force a lot of rebuys. If they can keep this money low on the CT side, if they can keep doing damages even if they're losing rounds, eventually it's going to get to a point where maybe NiP can't afford a second op. Maybe they can't afford, you know, some Molotovs, some smokes. True. And that way it allows some of their tactics to be so much more effective, allows them maybe to find an opening pick. But this time, now you see a timeout. This isn't a bad call from Liquid. This is where you normally talk about everything you've seen. You're just like, we just need one more round. Let's talk about the areas of the map that we can exploit out of NiP.
Yeah, 25 seconds on that timeout. I kind of like this in the middle of the screen like this. That means we can all sort of keep an eye on when it's going to resume. What weakness do you think there is right now in NiP's setup? Like, where could Liquid strike that would maybe put NiP at a disadvantage?
Liquid's having a pretty easy time of getting up catwalk and having control over towards those stairs. Maybe apply some pressure onto the A bomb site, throw some smokes, maybe make NiP feel a little bit nervous, force a rotation perhaps, maybe try and pick off that rotation in mid. And you can fall back from there. I mean, you can have any number of things. We haven't really seen either of these teams try any kind of mid to B split. So you can fall into that. Or you could just do your standard execute onto the A bomb site, because that's what won them their round just a few ago.
Forrest here in the middle. I think he had the shot go out of Kusta, so just going to try and see if he can take the peek right afterwards. 25th round coming up here, and Liquid have been shocking and surprising us here. Seems like it's just the recipe for today, isn't it? Everyone's just getting the upset wins.
Yeah, and a little bit crazy too, because Liquid's jet lagged. We normally don't see this, you know? Came in for Austin.
They did along with everybody else. There's a couple of you guys that are struggling.
That have been annihilated. But yeah, they're handling it very, very well. And now, I mean, this is the thing. This is what we're talking about. They have control of Catwalk now. They can do any number of execute exists. He's going to have to make a decision. This is where that pressure you put onto the A bomb site from Catwalk, maybe a fake execute, really forces Exist to choose if he wants to stay around in mid, if he believes there's going to be a fake, or if he's going to come back to the A bomb site. Because it does look, you can see the crisscross smokes in mid. That kind of highlights, that says there's going to be mid pressure, but instead they're all going up Catwalk. So instead of faking the hit and going mid, they're faking mid and going Catwalk. So Exist is stuck in CT spawn. He's going to get that kill. Nitro doesn't jump far enough into the smoke. Actually, that smoke missed. There's a mistake, and Pit with one more. That's a small error from Team Liquid that's going to have big consequences.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that Nitro thought he was covered when he got down there and just didn't even bother looking, right? Because it's supposed to cover him the whole way. Nice shot from Pith, taking down Kuster and Hiko. And Adren going to be left in 2-on-4. And even though they have the bomb side and the bomb there, this is not a favorable position if you're on the T side. You don't want to be stuck on here. You want to have short or long control, or at least a couple of people there. Adren just being run down by Get Right. And that's going to be a 10th round here for NiP. You're starting to sweat, Moses. Can you feel it?
Why must you do this to me? I am a little bit, yeah. Yeah, and the other bummer about it is Liquid, they only get one kill in that. So we just mentioned one of the ways they can win is grind down the economy. Well, they're not accomplishing that whatsoever either in that loss. So now it's a tough call, and they've also, you got to remember as well, they've used their timeout. So if they continue to struggle in these last 5 rounds, they have nothing to kind of slow down this game and talk about anything. Kusa's just going to rush it with his knife out. That tactic's not going to work. They don't get out quick enough at Dren. He's got to get that second kill, and he does. They know Freiburg's in the pit. There's a Liege. Good opening, but now they can slow things down if they choose to. Last time this happened, they pushed forward right into the Alpha pit.
It seems like they have learned from that mistake, and I mean, as long as they maintain this 4 versus 3 and just find out a little bit about what NiP's setup currently is like. If you spot someone in the middle or spot someone up on Catwalk, it's going to give you a lot of information about what's happening on the rest of the map as well. This
position from Nitro is so important. When is the timing of this? Force is going to get completely caught off guard. If Nitro just peeks a little bit farther, he's going to get a free kill, and there it is. 4-on-2 now. The rest of Liquid is over towards the B bomb site. But what a sick read we have out of NiP. Pit is still in mid. Get Right actually just now evacuates the B bomb site. So Liquid has him right where they want him. That smoked across long is perfect. That means they don't have the information. He's going to run right through it. And now it's trouble. Now they know it's the B bomb site, and they're both here.
Yeah, flashbang goes through, and it's timed fairly well, but Get Right not quite feeling it anyway. It's going to be a great peek in. Get Right getting the headshot, and he goes well. Elige now with 40 seconds left here in a 1-on-2, trying to see if he can actually close out this game. He gets the first shot. It's a brilliant one, taking down Python now. 30 seconds here. He's got a little bit of time to play what Get Right on the other side. Now up on the window. Elige going for the re-peek, but he gets down by Get Right. Picks up a double kill. And it will be NiP at 11 rounds, and Liquid, they could buy AKs on 4 and maybe some utility on Kusta here. Should they do it? I mean, we're getting close.
Oh, Lord. Okay, they're going to go for it. So, they're going to have decent utility.
Tick-tock, Clarice. It's getting close now.
That's unreal. I mean, losing a 4-on-2 in this kind of a situation, that is so heartbreaking. That's going to make Liquid so much more stressed than they have to be. Good damage done to Freiburg early on, and Elige out mid very, very quickly. There's one kill. He could get a second as well. This is perfect. Can he find it? He does. The control is there. Get Right responds on a Nitro, and he's going to get the equalizer as well. But the B bomb site is partially open. Force still manning this down. It's a nice flash. He's going to peek with his spray down 2 of them. It's perfect in Team Liquid. They get all the advantages these past couple rounds and just collapse. And now is where Liquid, instead of believing you can win the game, they now believe that they can lose it.
Well, look, I mean, I've got to give Elige credit. That was an incredibly manly push coming into middle, just running in there, and he got 2 kills for it. That's supposed to set you up again for a very nice follow-up into the rest of the round, but now they are officially out of money. They've gone back to pistols here and a bit of armor. We are at 15-12 and moving into the 28th round, and NiP just I think they could be about to deliver a devastating comeback here to Liquid. It's not quite done yet, and again, just one mistake is all it takes here for NiP to sort of essentially lose the game, right? But it's getting scary, and this is where mistakes start to happen if you're Liquid, right? This is where you start to make some errors that you shouldn't have.
Yeah, we've already seen some mistakes. So yeah, this is where that pressure gets put on, and then you start having some miscommunications, some doubts, and now I mean, Liquid's just getting mopped up in this eco round. They're trying to get into the bomb site. Bombs dropped as well towards CT spawn, so this round's essentially, it's all over basically. It's a nice shot from Nitro, gonna get another one. He can actually, and there's a Dren with the third kill, so down to a 2-on-2. Nitro has got to win this battle though.
Yeah, he's got 2 health left. I mean, Forrest has even picked up an HE grenade that would kill either one of them if it's just anywhere near, so that's still a little bit grotesque that they could even get into a 2-on-2 from this position. But some really good work there. And actually, even if they lose this round, which they obviously should, that might just give Liquid a little bit of sort of hope again, just proving to themselves even we can still kill these people.
Odd nade. See you later. It's perfect. So 15.
Look at the way he's put to rest as well. It looks disappointed, just the way he's. That wasn't even a fair fight.
Yeah, just couldn't do anything about it. And still, the money for NiP is so strong. Despite these last 2 rounds, they've been beaten up a little bit in the last 2 to 3 rounds. But still, such a oh, okay. So here's the switch up from Team Liquid, double op. Dren and Kusta both have the AWP. Just had to show it to us.
Great stuff.
And this is, now they've switched into a double op setup. Dren has no armor, but now things have to slow down for Liquid. They have to give these ops. This is a big investment into this round. You have to give your ops time to go for a pick. And the good thing about it is that NiP really hasn't had to face this too much in the second half, so this might actually catch him off guard. They only have to find out where Pit's playing, and he's been at the A bomb site basically this whole time.
We see just one mistake for NiP, and Liquid have got, I mean, even the past couple of rounds, even though they haven't won them, they've been good with the openings, right? So, I mean, and that's kind of the basic thing you want, at least to have a good opening into a T round. Bit of damage on Hiko is lurking down at long, and they've cleared upper. They're sort of in control of middle, and Pyth is playing on this corner, ready to jump down onto the slope. Forrest up here, though, I mean, a bit of a tricky position if he doesn't get any backup. If he gets isolated here, then that could be a bit worrisome. But it seems like they are going to try and split A through long as well.
Well, the first thing they have to do is they have to push back Pit on Catwalk, because that'll force the defenders at long to change up. A little bit of that flashbang does absolutely nothing. A little bit off. Kusta falls for free. Now Hiko and Dren have to make something work. And both defenders are here. Even the third member, even Pit can rotate over and help out. But this is a sick crossfire at long. And Hiko, it looks like he's just going to walk right into it. Coming through the smoke, he gets the first kill. That's impressive, but Get Right and Pit, they man down the A site. And all of a sudden, it's down to just the last round in this half for NiP to make this comeback complete. You wipe that smirk off your face, Anders.
Describe to me with words that are English how you know, what are you feeling right now? Let's just try and just lay back on the couch and tell me what are you thinking?
Oh, this is torture. They're just gonna go for a flat out B rush when all else fails. Why not? I like it. Make things simple. Smoke out to defuse any Molotov that comes in. It's going to be perfect. Get Right's not blind, though. Now he is. Now they could have this B bomb site. Forrest is stuck inside, so Get Right has to remain aggressive, but everyone's so blind. There's Get Right with 2. Forrest is fallen in the site, but this is an opportunity now for Liquid. Running out of utility, but in a 3-on-4.
We haven't actually seen NiP go for any big retakes over at B here, and it's not always that easy. Elige sees the shadow coming in. Get Right going to be going down. It's now a 3-on-3. Liquid, they might be able to prevent the pain train that's been in NiP here for the last couple of rounds. It's a 3-on-3 with a bomb. It is in that corner still. Dren just actually, I think, scared to move out. And that NiP going to put 2 in upper dark, which I don't mind. I think that's actually quite a smart play here. Nitro going to go for the fight. He has to win it, or at least stay alive. If he goes down, then the rest of this attack could just fall flat on his face. Nitro takes the fight there, drops Freiberg, he turns around. I don't think he realizes a Nitro going to be going down, so still a 2-on-2. And now finally, the bomb should be going down here. Dren smoking off. They're really paranoid here on the Liquid side, and you can't blame them. They have to know that overtime is going to be exactly what NiP want. It might very well be costing them the game here. Leash, a little bit of a fight there. Does tag up Big System, drop him a bit low. Pyth coming in from the outside with an AWP, maybe not the best weapon to retake with. Elige in a dangerously open corner, and there's the shot coming through, and we're going to be in overtime. NiP doing the retake. Wow.
That is an incredible comeback, and how do you recover from this if you're Team Liquid? I don't know how you do it. It's a shame. It's a shame that Nitro, when he's playing in the upper B tunnels, he doesn't peek out very wide. He never spots there's a second man there.
Yeah.
If at any point he sees that second man, the two players in the B bomb site actually push out those B and take over mid.
Yeah.
And that's why you saw Pitt was playing so defensively. He was just saying, all right, the two guys in the tunnels have to do all the work. Even when Nitro eventually does fall, I was actually a little curious to see if Liquid in that 2-on-2, if they were going to push out and do it then, because they know one guy's in halls at that point once Freiburg gets that kill.
Wow. So I mean, it wasn't 16-14 loss, but we're in overtime, which I guess is like a bit of a coin flip at this point in time. But if you're Liquid, you've got to be thinking we should have closed out this game already. The fact that we haven't, it makes you wonder, can we even do it? You know, is it too far gone here? It's a bit scary. I don't know what kind of childhood memories we could evoke here, Moses. Did you ever lose a puppy as a child? How bad does it have to get? Are you having flashbacks? You know.
Never lost a puppy. I mean, this is just, you know, I think I even mentioned to you at halftime. I was like, where's this Liquid coming from? Like, why do they tease us so much? Like, why have they performed this well in the first half?
It's like you broke your mom's favorite china, and she wasn't even angry, but you could tell she was sad.
Disappointed.
And it's even worse.
It is that disappointment, isn't it?
It's just it really hurts, you know. You try not to think about it, but even years later, you're still thinking.
Yeah, like years later, you have that memory of that day, and you get the residual guilt and the residual disappointment.
All right, we're getting close. Just trying to, you know, draw some parallels here that people might be able to identify with. You know. I'm assuming most people have mothers at this point.
Yeah, we've gone through dead puppies. We've gone through disappointed, not angry.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously shocking. Initially, it's you know, this match starts off with everyone being quite excited that Liquid is doing so well. Maybe a bit disappointed that NiP seemed to come into this match and being sort of halfway asleep. Now I don't even know what to say. How do you play overtime? Is it different from playing in regulation?
If I'm Liquid, I mean, that was a pretty slow-paced T-side out of them. They never seemed to get too aggressive except for the last round where it was just kind of like, all right, we don't know what to do, so let's just rush B. And then also there was one other round, that round that Elige came out mid very, very early and got those 2 kills. But outside of that, it was like a very slow-paced, default, tactical, conservative style. If I'm Liquid in this first round of overtime, I pick up the pace like really, really heavily. I just go for something maybe a little bit crazy. Maybe go for a very fast like mid to B split.
Yeah, I'm still confused about why we haven't seen that more out of the T side here. Because as far as I know, like most tactics that sort of fall out of favor with all teams, sometimes that happens. You know, everyone will be doing one thing for a while, and then someone figures out how to counter it, and then it dies, and it doesn't really come back except for like the odd round. As far as I know, no one has figured out how to really like effectively stop the B split. Obviously, you can randomly guess that it's going to be a B split, and you can end up with 3 people in B, and that's a good counter for it. But I don't think there's like any really, really solid like, you know, checklist that you go through and say, oh, it's a B split, we're going to behave in this way, and then we probably win the round. Yeah,
there's really not. It does sometimes come down to if they just guess it's coming, maybe they boost someone up in NCT spawn just to make sure it happens. But yeah, it is very curious to see that neither team has really gone for it too much. And because that has always been like a tried and tested tactic on the T side for Dust2. You know, it's just I don't know why. Here's what's tough for Team Liquid to tell them. You know, what can you guys do? Because the things they were doing in regulation actually, you know, to a certain degree worked. How many times did they have a 5-on-3 in these rounds that was just immediately equalized? And they end up losing it. First, it's that the double kill from Elige. There was also that the double kill out towards Long. That one round they had a 5-on-3 that ends up a 4-on-2 that they lose to a retake. So I mean, they've had so many opportunities and so many advantages in these rounds as that half came to a close, and they just can't capitalize on any of them.
Yeah, and that is absolutely true. I mean, even the round that they sort of made a big mistake in, where they ended up pushing against Pyth over at the A bomb side, right?
Yep.
All of those rounds, you got to wonder now. You know, damn, if any one detail had been changed there, this could have been done with already. We're going to be in overtime here between Liquid and NiP. First game for both these teams here at the ESL Pro League, and we'll see if they could find a way to close out this game. Liquid obviously had a tremendous lead going into the second half, and NiP somehow managed to come back, and you know that's going to be in the back of Liquid's mind here, but hopefully they can just wipe all of that out and refocus on this round.
So Liquid has long control, and this has forced NiP to take control of Catwalk, because you have to pick one. You have to have players on Catwalk if you can't control long, and that's why you can also see one player close up towards mid so they can kind of crunch on any attack that comes in this way. And now the scary part for Team Liquid is if they try and go for mid to B split, they'll get slaughtered, but an opening kill into Freiburg as well. Nitro down to 37, Adren's in lower B, and still keeping things slow. A minute left on the clock, and they have this defense all spread out. They've got to worry about one player pushing into upper B, and Adren's got eyes on that. He's spotted it out, he's forced it back.
That's some very valuable information if you're on the terrorist side there, obviously. A bit of a spray coming through, but Kusta not really taking much damage, and Get Right taking way more in return from that AWP, and Hiko dropping assist. It seems like here's the round that they needed in regulation. Go into overtime, and they just swiftly pick it up here. Nitro going to be dropping down Python. It is a 2-on-5 with Get Right being on 27 health. The bomb about to go down as well, and yeah, very well played round here coming out of Liquid. I think that initial spray from Freiburg looked good, but there were so many targets that he ended up sort of spraying at all of them and didn't kill either one. And
from there, they just had the defensive players so isolated. Even Forrest missing some shots there, but even Hiko wins a one-on-one out towards long later on when Exist, I think it was, pushed back to try and regain control of that. So now, I mean, this round for NiP is actually very, very... This is essentially 2 rounds for 1, because the money is gone on the CT side. They've depleted everything they have. That AWP is back in Pitt's hand. That was a monster. We didn't really touch on that, you know, after regulation. Because that Pitt was on 31 kills. Like, he really stepped up in that second half.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Defense set up here from NiP, and Liquid challenge it, and that's actually a bit interesting that they even try and do that. Freiburg still down on long, trying to flash his way and play around the smoke, but Nitro calling him out on that with an AK-47, and it's going to be now 5 versus 3, and NiP, they don't have the money to lose this round. Elige going to pick up one more and making it a double. A great effort here being put in, and Nitro to finish out the round, 17-15, and now NiP out of money, and Liquid, I mean, surely, Moses, they cannot disappoint twice in...
Why do you do this to me?
It's meant to be this time.
Surely they can. Find a way.
So that setup, that defense that NiP have, they actually were the team to popularize it, where you throw not just a couple of grenades, you throw the grenades and the Molotov, right? And it actually, for a long time, almost all teams even stopped going long because of it, because it's just so hard to get through. And Liquid actually managed to walk into it. Well,
speaking of walking into things.
Yeah, Pyth reading our minds a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, Exist has to be really frustrated about that round, because he was actually crouched spraying at 2 players in the narrow choke point who are fighting in a Molotov, and he doesn't get any kills. So that's, as a defender, that's so tough. But NiP does something really cool there as well. It's actually pretty, a little bit of a bummer it doesn't work out. They actually rotate 2 members back very early on, and they're just bombing flashes at that corner to swing wide and try and get aggressive, and Liquid just somehow outlasts them in each and every fight. And now you can see NiP just with these pistols, as we've mentioned, they've just kind of grouped up. That's the only option they have. Can't really go for any kind of one-on-one battle with just pistols against AKs and AWPs, so instead they're going to stay grouped up and hope they can find a 2-for-1 and maybe salvage a weapon. And Nitro's going to give him a chance here. There's also Kusta with him, so Nitro has got to come up big here. And he does. He protects Kusta perfectly, because Kusta was completely blind there. So now a 5-on-3 again for Liquid.
Yeah, Get Right in the corner, C-set 75 in hand. He takes 1 and 2, runs out into the open, trying to stay alive for a little bit here. It would have been brilliant if there had been someone else there with him now. Up on the box, Exist, trying to see if he could follow what up and getting close in now. Freiburg with the 5-7 in hand. It's going to go for the shot, but he transfers too soon. And Adren will take them both down to 18-15. And we need the first team for 19 here in the overtime format. I mean...
Stop.
Elige, 32.
Yeah, he's had a huge game. Kusta's quieted down a little bit. Nitro's picked things up. I mean, that's that duo for this team for Liquid, right? That we've been talking about for like a year. And it is like a very frustrating duo, because we have talked about the potential that they have, the power that Nitro and Elige bring to the table.
Yeah. Just
not frequently enough. And then you see the strength it has. I mean, obviously not closing this game out, but when those two are playing well or are topping the scoreboard for Team Liquid, this is a very, very difficult team to stop.
I'm curious how NiP are going to get back from this, because obviously their T side was miserable when we were in regulation. So see if they've warmed up enough.
So is Liquid.
So is Liquid. You're right. And I mean, it seems destined this time, Moses. Destined to be. You're still not.
I'm still not committing to it.
Oh man.
Here's the cool thing about it is that, like we said before overtime started, was that Liquid, there was like things that they don't necessarily need to change because they got all the openings. It was just a matter of closing those rounds out. Well, in overtime they get those openings and then they actually close the rounds out. So whatever they said during right before overtime began works out perfectly for them. And it's crazy to think that they're able to reset like that and then just rattle off 3 straight. I don't know what it was towards the end of that half because it's not like they were getting beat by economy. They had some very, very strong buys as that half kind of winded down. And now in overtime, they're able to get those 3 in a row.
It's a serious question. Do we know where Freiburg has been vacationing? Because he looks really tan, doesn't he?
I was going to mention that when the camera was on him and you're like, NiP looks a little frustrated. Freiburg was very bright red.
Yeah, look at it. It's just peace. He's been somewhere nice. I want to go there.
I don't know. That looks like a burn.
Yeah, but, you know, that's how you know it's going to be a really good tan, isn't it? You know, I don't actually know much about this, but...
A week later, when all the skin is peeled off, it's going to look great.
It is awful when you go to bed at night, isn't it? And you feel that heat from the sun still on you. Like, God, please, can we just turn it off and back on again tomorrow?
Look at the buyout of Kusa. He does have the AWP, and like we saw against NiP, when they lose those first 2 rounds in overtime, their money's gone. So Kusa actually declines for a kit, declines for head armor, just goes for a smoke and 1 flashbang to help him if he wants to have an advanced position. He has tools to get away, to help himself survive. And that's so moving forward into the next round, he can buy another AWP again if he wants to.
Well, it is kind of all or nothing here for NiP. They need to win 3 in a row to push it into double overtime. Otherwise, Liquid are going to finish what they started, which was quite an impressive start as well. Kuster in the middle, going for the shot, and seemed like he maybe had the opening there. So they kind of, you know, throw one of the cards out and it doesn't really work so well. Kuster back with a secondary position, though. And the flashbang and the running in from Pyth there, just a little bit too quick. Just 2 shots and no connection so far.
Yeah, and there's the smoke that Kusta bought to get himself away. Use it on Catwalk as he falls back. Now he's got a flashbang as well. If there's an execute, he's got 1 flash to use to give him a chance to re-peek into the safe bomb site, and NiP looks like they want to go right at him here. 4 members on Catwalk.
In regulation, they did have a lot of success hitting A from Catwalk, so I'm just going to try and see if they can do it again. Smoke goes down, lands in CT spawn. This time it doesn't fail. And Kusta, though, he's going to get smoked off as well. NiP looking to make their way through. Kusta, is he going to try and challenge it? It could be dangerous. Elige there to help him out as well if anything comes to it, but he's going to go down to Python now. Kusta out in the open. He misses a shot, tries for a second one as well, down in the pit. Adrian not able to help out there, and Freiburg with a shot on Kusta means NiP should be getting this round. And even though they start with 10,000 here, Liquid gotta wonder if they want to fight this or just save what they have.
Yeah, you say what you have here. You just fall away. A 3-on-5 retake is not going to happen no matter how good Liquid was at the retakes in the first half of this game. NiP just gets into that site for way too easy, and they have so many good positions. So even GetRight's going to go on the hunt now. You can see a little bit of a bummer that Adren, if he gets that 1 kill, if he saves Kusta, they probably go for this retake because they have Kusta at long with an AWP. He can peek into the site and give them some cover as they try for the retake. But just a standard execute from NiP works perfectly.
Yeah, and I mean, that strat that you just sort of outlined, having the AWP at long and then just trying retaking a bomb site, that used to be, I think, one of the most viable strats as a CT on this map, because in the earlier version of Dust, you couldn't plant in front of the box towards Catwalk, which meant that T sort of had to plant in only 1 spot. There's only 1 spot you could plant in if the AWP was long, right? So it's just sort of a historic almost perspective on this, but 16-18.
Because of the save as well, Liquid will have money in the 3rd round if they need it, if it gets there. Very fast, long pressure. GetRight's going to continue forward, and they find him right through the smoke. I don't know if he didn't realize the gap was there, but that was a little bit over-aggressive out of GetRight. You really don't see that kind of play.
No, it looked like he was just going to try and jump into pit, but just a little bit too quick there. Now they try for the counter push. Still 3 members of NiP here. A trade coming through. Exist on the corner. Adrena on the other side going for the fight. Bomb is down as well, and it is going to end up in a 2v2 after all of that. And Liquid 2 rounds away here from upsetting NiP and finishing what they started on this map. Hiko in the middle, M4 in hand, and Freiburg on the other side. Hiko's making a lot of noise here. Freiburg, is he going to try and sneak on through? Shots being fired out. The bomb is rotating back, and Freiburg is just holding this absolute connection on the map. He can basically know exactly what's happening, and if he realizes that they're both on the other side, well, Pyth is going to have a clean run of it, and it seems like that's exactly what's happening here. Wow.
Yeah, and Liquid's just conceding this. They're gonna go for the retake. Obviously, they're gonna go for the 2-on-2. But that one smoke out towards long pulled them away, and now they're a little bit scared to fall back. The question is,
look at the grenades on NiP.
Oh, that's brutal. Smoke. And yeah, I was wondering when Freiburg was gonna kind of concede that and go towards upper B tunnels to help out Pit, and it's just now. They've got to know this is coming.
Because he has smoke and a Molotov. One Molotov just went up. That was down towards the doorway. When they see the other two smokes going up here, the other two grenades, that's just going to be brutal for Liquid. There's one of them in through. They got to wonder now, what could we possibly do? Nitro running right in. Freiburg on the other side. Hiko going to go down as well. NiP playing the 2v2 just perfectly. The timing there on every single step. As soon as Freiburg was in the middle was just beautiful. 18-17. And they did save 3 rifles, so they have a bit more money in this 6th round of the overtime.
Yeah, they're going to have 4 rifles, actually. It's going to be a Dren on the CZ. They even have an AWP on Kusta. But still, it all comes down to this one round. Now, Liquid, again, dropping 3 in a row. I mean, they definitely have double overtime. But, I mean, this is getting heartbreaking now. Freiburg with a free shot onto a Dren. That's just the CZ, so not a huge deal, but that's some aggressiveness out of NiP that we hadn't seen.
Yeah, and seems like Liquid wants to sandwich upper and lower dark here, see if they could do that out in the middle as well. So they might be finding Get Right, but if he spots out how many people are actually here at long as well, they might just be able to push up. He only saw 2. If he had seen a 3rd one, I think maybe the rest of NiP would have just tried to push up there. Elige going a bit aggressive.
2 of them.
Wow.
Sister Spray's out 2. They were lined up. So that's heartbreaking for Team Liquid. Again, not able to close things out. I mean, this would have to be a very hero play on this cross from Hiko and Nitro.
They're in the right position. Flashbang goes out, though. Hiko spraying madly and somehow staying alive. Freiburg going to take him down, and Nitro now, 1-on-2, or 3, sorry, and trying to see if he could maybe save this for Liquid. It'd be one hell of a clutch here if he could make it work. They're on catwalk as well, and I think he may have even heard one guy running up there, which doesn't really matter. He can't really do much anyway. Just trying to find the opening, and they're not giving him one either. He doesn't have any grenades, and yeah, this is just a terrible position to be in. He's going to go down. We'll be looking at double overtime.
NiP, just right now, it's almost like they can't lose. Like you talked about, it's Destin. You were wondering if Liquid could disappoint again. It happened.
It happened.
And this is kind of, I mean, we mentioned this as well. This is the difference between, the best teams and the teams that are trying to break into that top echelon of teams is, can you close these games out? Now that Liquid's had 2 opportunities to close out this game. 2 massive opportunities. 3-0 in overtime, 13-2 after first half. It's a nice shot from Nitro, but he's overexposed. He doesn't get behind cover in time. He wanted that kill so badly. Pulls out the nade and goes for it. So a mistake there, and again, small mistake provides a huge opening for NiP.
Get right. I mean, seems lucky to be alive, but with that kind of a response, a little bit scary here for Liquid. And suddenly the teams have figured out quite well how to play the T side. Just took the first 30 rounds of the game.
What is the response from Team Liquid? Because you can see NiP, this is kind of the general trend right now in Counter-Strike, is if you get that first kill, just kind of freeze. Wait for the information gathering, because that's where the CT teams can really recover. It's not only, maybe pushing and finding it an unsuspecting kill, but also just finding the intel and being able to rotate. You have to be able to kind of make up for being a man down and rotate into the right positions. Kusta needs a big round here. He's been quiet recently. This would be huge. If NiP comes right at him and he can shut them down, that would be a massive lift for Team Liquid.
Well, we've got 40 seconds on the clock right now. So it's kind of now or never for NiP. You don't want to run out of time, obviously. Elige down here, flashed and smoked, but a mid-air headshot taking down Freiburg. Pytha's going to go down as well. Kusta looking for a second kill, but NiP going to fall back, and that might actually be a really good call. They do have a smoke for middle. They could run into Hiko here. He's going to go through the early fight. Gets Forrest, goes for a second one, but he can't get it. And wouldn't you know it, it's another 2-on-2 here. This time 15 seconds. They can barely make it unless they get killed crossing. And oh no, Adren, assuming no one in their right mind would be waiting middle with this little time left. The bomb is going to go down. Kusta peeking into the middle. Get Right going to take him out. And it will be 19-18.
Obviously, it's Get Right. Shuts him down. Such a smart play as well. With that low HP, picking up the AWP and just waiting for it. Liquid a little bit overconfident on that rotate.
I don't know what to say, Moses.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You're starting to feel the pressure? They've worked so hard for it as well, Liquid, haven't they? They've really put in a lot of work on this map. Now Elige going to be quick down, catwalk sprays one, and it's a quick trade, which if you're on the CT side, you want to do better than just trading, otherwise you are going to end up in an unfavorable position here. And Hiko down to 33, I think getting shot through the door even.
Well, the tough part too is now NiP knows there's only one on the B side. And they should just keep, more than likely, they'll keep Force trained on mid and just see if one ever crosses back or if there ever the opportunity for a smoke. Okay, so now they might not have the intel, though. You can see GetRight watching it. They're keeping this one player isolated so they can at least know more than likely he's going to be the only one there. And that might help them in the late round if they want to go for it. These Molotovs force a Dren out and he falls. It's now on Kusta. He's got 3 members on Catwalk. There's the flash. He can't time it. He's got no smoke to block it off as well. But NiP doesn't pressure the issue.
They got a minute left still, and they're in a 4 versus 3 here. They're feeling very confident right now. Just waiting for Liquid to come up with something, as you were saying. Information is usually what you want to play for here. Spray comes through. Nitro, he gets one, but couldn't follow up, and instead goes down now. Eco want to push through, but Exist is there. And Kusta, he's going to get the first one. Now, this would be one hell of a clutch if he could pull it through. He wasn't a 1v3. He's made it a 1v2, and I think going catwalk right now is way favorable, or even long actually is favorable to going up middle. That would be a bit of almost a suicide mission. So everything rides on this. NiP, they've got the bomb inside the site here, and Kusta's just going to have to essentially the play of the game maybe for him right now. Looking for the first opening shot with the AWP, going to be taking down Pyth now, moving up. GetRight knows where he is, and he can just play for time. Kusta does have a kit. He doesn't have time to play around like this. Already, a lot of time is off the clock. Kusta testing it once, and GetRight still in sight, very close. Close enough that Kusta only has one chance, and it goes around the corner. He can't get the flick off. GetRight going to be taking him out with the headshot, and NiP now at 20 rounds. And it's just one of those things where you don't know. You don't know where the last player is. He could be at elevator, he could be all the way by the box in the corner there, he could be at catwalk even, so hard to know.
Yeah, it really is in that kind of it. Now it's kind of the play out towards long. If you go towards catwalk, you might be able to see that second player, but at least going long, he caught the first one off guard, was able to bring it down. Now look at this buyout of Liquid. This time they didn't have a round where people saved their guns, so they're so incredibly weak in terms of their guns. Kusta playing in the smoke as well. This is going to be scary. Can he find it? He runs right through. Freiberg's there. And Pith is just going to set up on top of the dead body, but everyone is getting wiped out for Team Liquid. And we've seen such good halves out of them in overtime and regulation, but I'm not sure. It was surprising to see them go 3-0 after resetting after that second half they had. I don't think they can do it in overtime.
No, this is turning really ugly here for Team Liquid, and they must feel it as well. You know, so well in regulation first half, then into overtime, then into second overtime, and now even these 3 rounds here kind of feel like they are getting rolled a little bit here. Hiko, alone in a 1-on-4, obviously has to try and do something, but there really is no right answer for how to play a situation like this. And he's going to go for the fight. Ends up going down to Exist, so 21, and actually, yeah, 22 rounds here for, sorry, 21 rounds for NiP. I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, this is... We'll have to see if Liquid can just run. I mean, that's the thing. They have to run it back. They have to be able to continue to get those opening kills. Same situation with Kusta going for a light buy with that AWP. But, I mean, Pitt with his own op on the CT side has been a beast pretty much throughout the entire match. And the tough part now is, you know, we talked about the retakes being so effective. Oh, Kusta, that's a nice shot. Almost doubled him up. But we talked about Liquid and regulation having some really, really nice retakes. Oh, I don't think no one from Liquid expected him to be there.
No, definitely not. He's going to go for a second one as well, but GetRight actually there to help out. And Kusta did give them a really good start. But is it going to be quite enough? There's only one guy playing B, and that might completely throw Liquid off, but they are going to actually go for it, and that's very fortunate for them right now. Kusta going to hide in the middle. Exist has to stay alive and get one kill at least. He goes for the first one there. Kusta with the follow-up, still a 2-on-3. They try and flash their way through, and Kusta, he can't see a thing. He goes down. Nitro now gonna try and prevent this full comeback for NiP. He's in a corner. They do have a Molotov. If they know he's there, Freiberg is gonna close out this game with a single grenade. Nitro will be completely out of position if that happens, so he's gonna have to get the first 2 kills without them even realizing. Otherwise, this is gonna be just a miserable way for them to end the round here. Nitro in the corner. AK in hand, goes for the first spray. There's one headshot for Freiburg to follow it up. No HE or anything needed. NiP gonna win in double overtime against Liquid on Dust2.
Yeah, they had their chances, and that was kind of what I was trying to get to in that last round. Is in the first half we saw them, some of those retakes were really good, and as this kind of streak continued, they started not being able to win out those situationals. NiP started winning every 2-on-2, every 3-on-3, even 2-on-4s. I mean, it's just brutal for Liquid. I mean, how many times do we see it? A good performance from a team that's the underdog, and then they get to the end of the line, they can't close it, and just so many times they've given themselves an opportunity and failed that it almost feels like they don't really have what it takes to actually win that match.
Yeah, devastating game, and I mean, should be a wake-up call for NiP as well. That start for them was just very, very bad indeed, but they make up for it and end up going home with a victory so far, at least, in double OT. So that's going to be this game. Now, next coming up is Optic and G2, so stick around for that.